Hey everybody, it's Chandler Peary and my good friend Mark Barber. We're here.
So,
Go ahead, man.
oh, well, I was just gonna say, well, you go ahead, man.
I just wanted to say, man, the world is in a crazy time right now. Wow. March 9th, huge supermoon, kicking the energy shift like never seen before. We're dealing with viruses never seen before, outcomes. We don't know what's happening. The world's coming on lockdown. The economy has crashed, potentially worse than it ever has before. And now we're a global economy and we're all going down together. I'm not trying to talk about doomsday. I'm just saying, hold your family close and hold your Bitcoin closer.
um, what we were talking about before we started the show, actually, as you've noticed, I've been talking about gold and silver too. Um, and
Sir.
really, I'm a huge advocate of Bitcoin right now, especially in this environment. But
Right.
I really just want people to be covering their asses.
Yeah, you got to worry for the everyday American, for the middle class, baby. It's us. We are the people. Fuck the people on top. Let's worry and get each other's back.
There's a, it was really getting to me this morning, man. Because I've been looking into this for years, and there are people who've been aware of this for much longer than that. But for me, 5 years is when I kind of started to wake up to this,
Right.
and it was just getting to me this morning because it's all starting to unravel, and a lot of
And
it's starting to
it's
become. It's starting to become. It's very predictable, and a lot of people who've worked their whole lives are going to have problems retiring. And
yeah,
nobody believes it because everybody
it's
thinks that
really bad.
they think that the Fed's just going to blow the bubble back up again. The government's going to fix everything, tape it back up, and it's going to be fine. And that's how everybody's been conditioned.
Because it's always been happening like that. But when you blow a bubble too big, pop,
Yeah, pretty much.
there it goes.
Yeah. So I was very surprised to see. I was not expecting this, but I was very, very pleased when I saw Bitcoin moving sideways today.
Up and away.
For people watching this video, it's um what was today? Monday. It was a
Yep.
Black Monday. The Dow dropped a record point drop. It was 3,000 points,
Oh my
which is
god.
like 13% or something.
That's
And
nuts.
but Bitcoin moved sideways.
Bitcoin
It
moved
didn't
up.
continue to crash. That surprised me. I thought Bitcoin would continue to crash, and I was
It
ready to buy
started out
more.
this morning, but it crashed with the rest. I don't know the exact numbers. I bought some around $4,500, and now it's up to 53, 54 right now. It did a little dip, but then it almost busted up 10% in one day.
Hmm.
When everything else, all the stock market, all cash currencies were dropping 10%. It's almost inversed.
Gold's
Crazy.
not going to be too bad. You know. So people have been asking me, um, because safe haven assets, they've been going down with this crash too.
Yeah.
That's normal. So as people, I saw a really interesting post earlier about credit default swaps back in 2008. The
Yep.
people who had the strong hands and held on to them, became very, very wealthy. A few
Now,
people.
yeah. The
Well,
big
because
the big short that kind of touches on
mhm,
that a little bit.
yeah, that movie, it was
Great
what they were
movie.
referencing. But you know, when people are overexposed, people are trying to cover their losses. So where are they going to go? They're going to sell some of their safe haven, whether it's gold,
That's right.
Bitcoin, or they'll sell good products to cover their losses. And
Some
that's why
fear.
these things dip, but they'll
Fear
stabilize.
mongering.
And seeing Bitcoin move sideways today was very healthy in my book. I don't know much about technical analysis,
Sideways.
but I was very
Skills,
happy to see
baby.
that. I was
Love it.
really happy to see that, man. Really
It's
happy to see that.
because, man, like people are seeing, they're waking up, they're noticing that decentralized system, putting all your faith into a big bank, that's really only here to destroy you in the long run, to bleed you dry, is not the smart move. It's power to the people, it's decentralization. That's where the world's going, and it has to. I implore everybody watching this, buy Bitcoin now. And it's never too late. I promise you, it's never too late. It will give us the power back. This is our only way out. This is our pathway to freedom. I promise you. And I might be crazy. Call me whatever you want, but we'll all see. We're coming soon. There's a big change coming. Change coming.
Um, the reason I've been also kind of harping on gold and silver is because I don't expect people to understand Bitcoin, the technology, and everything about what it is overnight.
Right.
Um,
No, for
I
sure.
I don't think that gold is going to be remonetized.
Mm.
I don't believe that.
That's
Um,
impossible, I feel like.
um, it could be possible. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. But gold and silver are going to hold their value, and I think they're going to skyrocket along with Bitcoin.
Yeah, they will, like always, because people want something that is worth, has value. Gold and silver has had value for a long time. And I think that when people see that their money is not really theirs anymore, they want to have something physical like gold and silver to show their worth. Like you were
Hmm.
saying, people go to the bank right now, you got $1,000 cash with all this tank in the market. What do banks do? They invest all of your money into the market. If they're going back 20% losses in the markets, they might not even have your cash. Where's your cash? You
Oh,
know?
and it's a big bubble, and
That's what I'm saying. It's fucking nuts.
we haven't had true price discovery. This economy, we don't really have a free market system. We have a centrally controlled
Right.
money supply, and so
Right.
we have an entity that
The
manipulates the price of
Fed.
debt. They manipulate the price of
Fuck the
debt.
Fed.
The market is not deciding how much debt is worth. The
No.
Federal Reserve has been deciding that, and central banks all around the world have been
Manipulated and
suppressing. Yes,
controlled.
they've been suppressing rates,
Right.
and they've been playing with debt, and now we have this issue.
And
Ow.
what goes up must come down. You keep on pushing it up, pushing it up, pushing it up, pushing it up, just like a wave. Everything's a curve, everything's a wave. It's got to rise and it must fall. And you know what? Guess who gets stomped when the fall comes? When people who just keep on raising it out of pure greed controls the system. Me, you, the everyday American, the everyday human
The
gets
retirees.
the
I'm
retirees get
I'm really
screwed.
worried about people who have worked their whole
Yeah.
life. They think they're going to retire, and yeah,
Already we got to work our whole life 60, 65 years old, and then as we're old, we're broken, we're tired, then we get to retire. And now it's like they're taking it from underneath their feet, the right to even relax before you die. Now it's going to be, we're going to see all these old people, our parents, our grandparents, work to death, live to work to die. It's ridiculous, man. We've got to change. Buy Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, and I'm a big proponent of gold and silver too.
Right.
I am Bitcoin is where my money is. Bitcoin is what I believe. That's my what I see as the future.
You better where
Um,
your mouth is.
but it never hurts to own some precious metals.
Oh,
But the stock market is just insane, and everybody thinks that the Fed's going to blow this bubble back up and tape things up, and it's absolutely insane.
most people I feel like aren't even thinking about it. They just it's been so well conditioned over time. They just expect it to happen. They're not even questioning it.
Well,
A lot of
there's
people,
some concern out there.
there is.
Um, this virus is definitely a cover up. Um, I mean it's a real bio virus. I'm convinced it's a bio weapon. I don't think it's going to wipe out half the planet or anything like that, but
No,
I think the virus is taking the blame for central banks going into panic mode, shutting down markets, and hyperinflating hyperinflating the markets, hyperinflating these debt bubbles. Now keep in mind. So last night, okay, the Fed was supposed to have their meeting was scheduled for Wednesday.
right.
And I was surprised. Now, I thought they were going to drop rates. I even thought they were going to drop rates to zero. Last night, Sunday night, the Fed announces that they're dropping interest rates to zero,
YouTube.
and they're going to be basically injecting $700 billion of liquidity in the market, more or less, quantitative
Seven
easing,
hundred billion dollars.
$700 billion.
So what is the total running right now? Because I know they did a $500 billion buyout. Is it over? I think it's over 1.5 trillion now.
Well,
Right?
the repo operation is now in the trillions, and that's to give the illusion that there's liquidity in the market.
Yeah.
But the point is, they were they they were they were afraid of how the market was going to open on Monday.
Yeah.
Today they were afraid of how this week was going to open, and they dropped interest rates to zero. They announced $700 billion of QE, and the market still took a shit.
Still
It's
took a shot.
3,000 points. The Dow dropped.
Wow. One day. They were expecting
Um,
it, what, 1,000, maybe 2,000 max? It tripled.
I think so. I don't remember. I think if you were looking at the futures market, I think it was like
On
projecting
Sunday,
like
I heard.
900 points or something.
Yeah.
It dropped
Over
3,000
1,000.
in 10 minutes. The trading halted. This first 10 minutes that the trading floor opened.
Complete crash,
So
man. This is an economic crash. There's no
if
other definition.
if it wasn't for if it was not for 0% interest rates, all the money that the Fed has been injecting into this bubble, this
Yeah.
economy, and if it wasn't for circuit breakers and
Mm-hmm.
all the stops that are in place, we would have already experienced it. Forget people talk about 2008, 1987.
Demolition.
I'm talking 1929. We're in a dwarf
Great Depression.
1929.
That's why our first video, I call it the Greatest Depression. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but man, this could be what's happening. And Mark, tell me a few things. I got a couple questions for you. I'm wondering if you could explain to the audience what does 0% net interest rates look like as we cut closer and closer, and why is it happening? And what would negative rates look like?
No, negative rates. 0% interest. Again, it's just manipulating. It's manipulating the price of what debt is worth. So banks don't have to pay
Right.
to lend money out. All right. So, okay, here's what negative interest rates are going to look like. Negative interest rates mean you pay
Uh-huh.
a bank to let them lend your money out.
Wow.
So if you don't, it's basically like you're now being forced to do one of several things. You can either invest your money in the market, which is what they want. They're doing everything they can to keep this bubble inflated. You
They
can
need
either
that
invest your money in the
liquidity.
market.
They need the cash back. People are scared. Why would they? Bitcoin, baby.
You can either invest your money in the market. You can go out and spend the money. You can hide it in your mattress, or you can get hit with fees or whatever you want to call it. Your money can get siphoned out of your account
Right.
by negative interest rates. So there are some countries that have already been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll happen here. The president's a proponent of it, and the Federal Reserve. There's no way they won't. There's no way they won't. They don't have a choice.
They've got
And
to.
as you know, I've been a supporter of the president. I am a supporter of the president. I do think he has good intentions. I'm not saying he's a saint. However, whether he has good intentions or whether he has bad intentions, the fact of
Yeah.
the matter is he has to lie. He's been lying a lot about this. He has been lying about this bubble, this market, since the day he was sworn in. He was open and honest about the bubble
Wow.
before he became president. The point now, he has to. If you're captain of the ship, you need to keep everyone calm.
Yeah. I mean, I
So
guess, but you don't have to
so
be. I hate being fucking lied to, man.
so do
About
I.
everything. Everything.
We'll see if he's another corporate prostitute. But you know, or central bank prostitute, I should say.
Right.
Um,
Sick of being abused, man.
if
I
he were
just
to,
I want power back to the people, man. We've got the numbers, we've got the minds that come together. We're the people that make this country move. We're the people that make the world rotate. And you know, I feel like everybody gets sick and tired after a while slaving away for someone else's dollar, you know? We deserve better as a people. We deserve better as humanity. We deserve to retire. We deserve relaxation. We deserve to be treated fairly. So, change is coming. It
the
is.
unfairness, yeah, the unfairness comes from the fact that we don't have a sound currency. It's just very
Right.
simple. It's a very simple concept, but we don't have a sound
Bitcoin.
currency.
Bitcoin. Yeah, digital currency, man. I'm telling you, it's like we had bartering, we had gold, we had silver, we had paper money, then we have this plastic thing that's hooked to the internet. Next, digital currency. It's coming in a huge wave. And like you were saying, man, what were you talking about? The one world order?
Oh, the
What's
New
that
World
again?
Order.
Yeah, the New World Order. One currency to rule them all.
I think I think we are closer than ever to seeing some sort of when all is said and done, when the economy has been locked down, when the financial system has completely crashed, which we are so close to that it's not even funny. When all is said and done, and we're all hunkered down in fear of this virus, I think this is a new world order moment. We're going to find out. Don't be surprised if some temporary international liquidity instrument to restart trade and commerce across the globe, i.e., an international currency that's not temporary.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if that something like that's announced. I wouldn't be surprised.
No. Okay. So I was wondering, what does it look like if they keep on pumping money in and it doesn't reverse? It doesn't work. What does a full worldwide economic crash look like? Because we've never experienced it. We've never really had a global economy crash
It'll be
altogether.
worse. It'll be worse than what happened in the Great Depression because this will be an inflationary depression. So this is a debt bubble, which means the dollar itself, not only is the market going to crash, but the dollar itself is going to lose any purchasing power that it had.
Mm.
So we're going to need another currency. And I don't think people are going to trust paper notes. And I don't think it'll be gold because it's too inefficient to move it around. Bitcoin is the soundest currency on the planet.
Transfer anywhere in the world, practically instantaneous with very low fees.
It's
Time
infinitely
saving.
divisible.
Money, gold, Jesus.
So
Infinitely divisible.
and you also, unlike with gold, you know the supply of Bitcoin. You can
Right.
access the ledger, and we know how much there is.
There's X amount in the world. What do they do with dollar bills? It just comes from thin air. What is it, magic money? You know, it's like playing with freaking Monopoly money out here. We need a real currency.
And I'm not being conspiratorial about this, but something very interesting. Anybody knows about the Jewish Jubilee or whatever?
Uh-huh.
It was 49 years ago that we went off the gold standard. So 50th year, is it the year of Jubilee? I don't know.
Mm.
All the debts get
Ooh.
wiped out. We can't buy anything with our money, but I just happened to notice. I don't think that means anything, but it's kind of ironic or whatever you want to, however you want to look at it.
It's a funny coincidence,
Yeah,
to say the least.
a lot of crazy stuff's going on.
Man, the world's in chaos, dude.
Yeah.
Like I
Well, I
look
think
in the
it's only
last.
begun. I don't think the chaos has really started yet. I
Oh
think central
no,
banks
no.
are panicking.
Yeah, central banks are in full panic mode around the world, Europe,
Hmm.
America, toilet paper's out, like people, there's a feeling, there's a dread in the air, man. You can feel it in your spine. There's something coming, man. And then what's crazy is that we haven't even begun the real effect, dude. What are people supposed to do
Yeah.
if you work for tip wage? I'm a server right now. How do I pay my bills if they shut down? They make a martial law. You can't leave the house for a couple months. How do you pay your bills? How do you provide for your family? How do you feed yourself and your children? This
Well,
could be very detrimental. Hold your loved
unemployment,
ones close. Hold your
mm,
Bitcoin closer.
unemployment's going to be very high. Here's what I think is going to happen. Again, um, most people are going to end up on some, including the middle class, they're going to end up on some sort of welfare system. So we'll be given EBT cards for food and, uh, you know, government health care and all that.
Right.
The thing is, governments themselves are going broke. So there's going to
Exactly.
have to be some international standard. There is going to have to be some way for um, people to hand out entitlement benefits to keep people fed because there's going to be high unemployment as well.
Yeah. We need to come together. Help your neighbor, man.
Mhm.
Love each other. Like things could get a lot worse, but I promise you by coming together, maintaining the power within the people, the community. Don't be scared of one another. We need each other now more than we need each other ever. And I'm here for y'all if y'all need anything. Message me.
And actually, I know this sounds like a gloom and doom topic. This has just been the reality of how it is. Believe it or not, I'm actually pretty optimistic about the future.
Right.
Bitcoin is one of the things that makes me optimistic. Um,
Damn right.
Bitcoin is the solution to this problem.
It is.
And the more people who figure it out before shit starts hitting the fan,
They're gonna be well off.
and again, it's not about making money. It's
No.
about freedom and independence.
Power to
It's
the
about
people.
leaving the system behind. It's
Make
about taking
sure that
control of your own wealth.
the hard workers, the humans that put the world on their back and make this whole system work, that they're reaping the benefits. Why should they not reap the benefits? They deserve it. I think it's that time to get what we deserve.
All people's labor has been taken from them,
Yeah.
especially a lot of the boomers who are about to retire. Not only has their purchasing power been the purchasing power of the currency that they've been using has slowly been eroded. So what they have done to try and get ahead of that is they've invested their money in the markets.
Right.
They've
What does
done this
that
their whole
mean?
lives, and now we're at the end of this huge macro cycle,
Right.
and it's the people who are about to retire. It's the retirees who I'm concerned about most.
That's our parents, that's our family. That's our
Hmm.
grandparents. Like it's terribly sad, man, because we deserve to live a good life for all the hard work we put in. We deserve to live a good life, man. We deserve to live beneficial and plentiful in our land. We deserve freedom, man. We don't deserve to be oppressed. We don't deserve for our currency to be manipulated, for our currency to be completely controlled. We don't deserve that. And I think I'm really happy for the blockchain technology. I've been talking to a lot of people lately. I've been explaining them decentralization, freedom, and man, I know me and you, we've had a lot of new investors, young and old, that hear the story and facts are facts. The truth rings to your soul. And that's why people are adopting this. That's why it was developed. It was for freedom to the people. We deserve
Hmm.
it. We truly do. I'm very happy to see what comes next.
It's going to be a very interesting week. I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be a slight rebound or not. You know, I have never seen. It seems like every time you turn around, the Fed is doing something else to try and keep the market. I've never
Back to
seen them
back.
so active in trying to keep this market afloat.
They're
They're.
scared, man.
Mhm.
They're freaking. They're panicking. It's a panic attempt. Cause like I'm saying, what if it keeps on going down? Like I can't even conceptualize like the rate. Like even with all these billions and trillions of dollars, what would have happened if we didn't even get that? How would it be cut in half?
Worse than that. For a variety of reasons,
That's insane.
I believe that the fair market value of, we'll say, the Dow.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, we were approaching 30,000. I think the Dow should be less than 10,000
What?
for a variety of reasons. It should be less. It should be less than what it was in 2000. Fair market value.
Wow.
Um,
Imagine the. I just like imagine the people who invested their whole life. Like think about it in the 80s, you saved $5,000, $10,000 that year, and then you kept it in the bank. How much did it increase in a bank? Maybe a percent. That's nothing. And now it's just tanking. The inflation is so large, becoming worthless.
if you kept your money in gold, it would be decent actually.
Yeah, but how many people do you know who got
Mm.
cases of gold in their
No,
closet?
people have been robbed. People have been robbed, and it's very troubling. And as you can tell, I'm quite exhausted. I've been thinking a lot about it. There's so much going on in the world in the news right now. There's a lot swirling around in my head right now.
All
And
right. I was wondering, did you get a minute to read upon like how U.S. Secretary appoints
oh, Mnuchin.
this? Yeah, Mnuchin.
Oh, the I forget his name, Booker or Brooker or
It was
Brook.
I gotta
The
pull it up right here. Brian Brooks
Brian
is
Brooks
yeah, he
working for
is
Coinbase. I did glance
chief
at that
legal
article. I heard
officer
about it.
at Coinbase.
Right. He's a very outspoken crypto advocate.
Yeah,
And I think I don't know much about the situation, but I think it's good news. I think it's good
yeah.
news for
Well,
Bitcoin.
so they're pretty much saying Brooks. Um, I'm gonna read right now from my source, the Daily Hodl. HODL. It's saying that Brian Brooks is stepping down from his role as the chief legal officer at Coinbase, a prominent role, which is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the United States. And now he will serve as the next chief operating officer and first deputy comptroller of the office of the comptroller of the currency. I don't know exactly what all this means, but I do know that is important to realize that a head officer of cryptocurrency is now becoming a head officer of in the United States of currency. There can be a relation, positive or negative, but it will have an effect. I'm certain of that. Deduce your own conclusions. We will see. Time will continue to tick and we'll find answers to all of these questions. Um, I was also wondering, I wanted you to explain, or I wanted to ask you a question about what does a credit freeze look like in America?
What is a
Yeah.
credit freeze? Well, I mean, it's happened on small scales, but never. What's coming, we've never experienced because like there was a credit freeze in Rhode Island years ago.
Right.
What you see, you always had the federal government to bail you out. You always have that printing press to bail you out. Um,
Ben Frank over here.
what we're about to see, and you know, I came to this realization last week when I started seeing things that were happening when the meltdown started. And let me tell you, bro, we're at the very beginning of this. Um, when the meltdown started, trade, okay, global trade, and I don't know how many people can really appreciate the gravity of this. Global trade's grinding to a halt. The more and more countries are on lockdown. More and more businesses are temporarily closed.
Right.
Um, economic economic activity is slowing down, and it's basically going to come to a grinding halt. And central banks are going to panic, and they're going to pump not hundreds of billions but trillions of dollars into the economy to try and
That's
keep it
unheard
afloat,
of.
and it's not going to work.
That's unheard of. It's not going to keep it afloat.
Oil is extremely low, and as the demand for oil falls, so does the demand for U.S. dollars. Um, and we know that various nation states, will say China, Russia, for example, Iran. I don't know about the United States, but they've been stockpiling gold. And U.S. Treasuries, the amount of countries holding them are declining. So what gives the dollar the real what has really allowed the dollar to maintain its purchasing power for so long is an artificial demand. So all the other countries of the world hold dollars because that's how they make oil purchases.
Yeah.
Once people start dumping their treasuries and they don't want dollars anymore, you know, um, that's it. You
Well,
know,
yeah, you're right. That's it. I also
and
think about we have a lot of oil in America. I've always been curious about that. Like we have some of they say the biggest reserves in the world, even sitting off South Carolina coast, Alaska. I heard it's can't even number how many.
we have plenty of
Vast.
oil. What we don't have is a way of obligating the rest of the world to hold our currency.
Hmm.
So it's not necessarily about us having oil available to us. We have oil
Well,
available to us.
right, exactly.
We need other countries, and this is why we arm and defend Saudi Arabia over the Iranians.
Right,
We
petrodollar.
need we need other countries to want to hold our currency. And if they don't want to hold our currency anymore, they won't. Um,
Yeah, they won't.
so
And we got to adopt a new currency. Hopefully, I don't. I mean, Well, let me ask you this. Give me three reasons why cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, is better than any other currency. Why is it the best?
Bitcoin's unconfiscatable. It's a
Can't
scarce.
steal it
It's a
unless a hacker, but very, very hard. Much harder than robbing a bank.
it's a scarce resource. Well, there's ways you can protect yourself against that, but it's scarce. You can actually verify how much is out there. You can see the public ledger.
Supply versus demand.
It's a truly sound money, um, censorship resistant. I mean, it can be sent anywhere on the planet.
Power to the people.
I think, and this is another conversation for another time. I think it's going to cause a revolution in renewable energy, electricity. I think people are gonna be incentivized to come up with mass amounts of cheap
Tesla.
electricity.
Elon Musk.
Um, there are, I mean, there are so many. There's a lot of reasons.
What's a good
Bitcoin
one?
is the king. Bitcoin
What's a
is the
good one?
king.
Bitcoin's the king. Buy crypto. What's
Where
gonna
my money
happen?
is.
Put your money where your mouth is. Get
Hmm.
on. And what happens when this extreme overinflated dollar just prints and prints and prints like a madman? Bitcoin will engulf it like a amoeba.
But not only that, man. It's like you can you can take your Bitcoin anywhere you want on the planet. You don't have to have a device on you or anything. You could memorize
Mm-hmm.
your seed from other part of the world, and you have your Bitcoin with you, and no one even
Right.
knows it's on you.
And
So
can you?
it's revolutionary. You can't do that with gold or
No.
paper notes or anything.
Will you be able to translate it so if like you're using Coinbase and it pretty much does American dollars, is there other currencies you're able to immediately transfer it into? If you are traveling the world, what is their most main world currencies?
You always have access to
Euro.
your Bitcoin. So I mean, if you're going to use Coinbase, Coinbase is an exchange. So
Yeah, no,
I
what
mean,
I'm saying is if you go to Europe, yeah, you want to change your crypto to euros, is there an exchange that you could do that? Which I know there is. My point is that you're able to translate crypto into any currency practically. Not every currency, but majority of currencies very simply with different
sure,
exchanges.
anybody who wants to take it. Um, and this may be a topic for another conversation, but I'm very, um, I don't want people to make, I don't want people to automatically make these assumptions that I'm like promoting Ripple or excuse me, XRP or anything. But I just recently, within the past few months, have started becoming very interested in our XRP. I'm interested in it for what it is. There are currencies I'm interested in that I don't hold or have large holdings of. Bitcoin is the vast majority of my money is in Bitcoin, but
Mm-hmm.
XRP is very interesting. Ripple is the company, and we're going to be able to. The SWIFT system is definitely going to die, and even the IMF and um, is looking for solutions to faster payments and being able to swap currencies more efficiently.
Right. That's a big thing.
And
Keep the mobility
um,
on the
that's
run.
basically what Ripple is trying to do.
Right.
Cross-border payments, speed of transaction, and all that. XRP is a very interesting currency. I have problems with it. I don't know if I trust it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin is king. Bitcoin is where my not just my money. Bitcoin is where my belief is. As far
Passion.
as I'm concerned, we're in
My
economic warfare.
passion is. It is,
No,
man.
we're in economic warfare,
And
and
chemical warfare,
that's the
man.
team I'm choosing.
You got a disease
Um,
that comes right out of China that's putting the world in rampant. I'm not saying this is China's fault. I don't know. I'm not trying to be like this conspiracy theorist, but I mean, let's look at the facts, bro. You could get fentanyl from China very cheaply, and it kills people. We've seen a lot of things coming from China that is very highly deadly. And again, I'm not going to say China's doing this on purpose, but we have to look at the evidence, and we've got to deduce opinions and positions that we got to stand strong in, man. We really have to. We got to back up our ideas with action. That's why we're
the
doing this
warfare
podcast.
The warfare is on many fronts. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, you had mentioned biological. Um,
Right. Chemical too.
it's economic, it's biological. We're also in an it's information warfare too. So
That's huge.
basically what it comes down to, we think in terms of different states competing with each other, and there is a
Right.
degree of that. This, at the end of the day, this is about elites. This is about central banks and governments versus the people. And it doesn't matter if it's communist China or if it's the democracies of the West, the United States. Um, it really has become about a global elite new
Yeah.
world order class versus the people themselves, and it's an information war. it,
Uh-huh.
it's
And I
it,
see that's tied to why didn't Bernie win the against Hillary? Because he's calling this out. And guess who has the power?
well,
The elites, the 1%. And I know you might like him, you might not like him. I don't like him or not like him, but he's out there screaming about the 1% power to the people. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't disagree with a lot of what he says either, but that's true, man. We got to fight. We
it's
got to stand up
the
for our rights.
I know a lot of people who feel that way. It's an interesting point. I believe that it was stolen from him, one, because of all the connections that Hillary has, and she felt that she was going to get her coronation. But also, the Democrats know that um, he is not a strong candidate to win the presidency. He would not win. He would not get many moderate voters.
Right,
And
because of the socialistic idea. People, even if they're on the border, everybody's going to hop to one side. They don't want socialism. It's just true.
so, and now with Biden, they're going to pick. They don't want to get slaughtered in November.
Right.
Bernie would be a slaughter, despite what a lot of people, perhaps in our age group, may think. Bernie would not stand
There's
a
no way
chance.
you're getting a bunch of old,
It'd be such a
hardworking people.
landslide. It would be such a landslide. It wouldn't even be funny. So, yeah,
I potentially think that he would have, with the momentum he was having back in the 2016 election, I think that he might have done better off than Hillary, potentially. Could be wrong.
I think he used his political capital up. He'll never have the shot that he had again. But
Right.
I think in 2016, if he got the nomination, he would have become president. I think with the information war that was going on, I think he'd have beaten Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump would not have been able to flip the entire Rust Belt. They both ran on protectionist platforms, and for a number of reasons. Bernie, he has an outsider appeal, even though he's not. Um, he has the outsider appeal, and he didn't have the dislike. People don't like Hillary Clinton for a variety of reasons. He would not have flipped. Trump would not have been able to flip the Midwest if Bernie was the Democrat back in 2016.
Right. That's
Not
true.
all of it. Not like he did. That was his strategy.
So, what other big and economic facts have you been reading on, or anything else that you want to tell the public? Guys, this is a live U.S. news update about the economy, and this is very important. We have to keep our minds open. We have to keep our eyes open and search for the truth. You won't hear a lot of this stuff from the mainstream media. You won't hear a lot of any of this talk publicly anywhere. But this is real stuff. This is real situations.
Well, you know, I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to seeing what unfolds over the next couple of days, and I want
Yeah,
to sit and talk with you again in a
we'll be
couple of
back.
days.
We're going to keep
Hmm.
this as live and as updated as possible. It's not only for viewers like subscribers, nothing. It's for information to give it to the people. I'm here to empower the people. I will ride in the streets if I have to. I will pick up arms against any suppressive force if I have to. And I know as Americans, we will do the same. We're not scared. We're not fearful. We live in power. We're empowered people. We got to come together. Things are changing. And you know what? When Americans have Americans' backs, we will be an example, a light on the hill for the world. I promise you.
The most um, the most precious freedom, and I don't know if you can really rank them, but free speech is really it's the most important thing. Um,
Be heard.
and
Heard one time.
if there was one freedom that I could just guarantee, it was just the anchor. It's the freedom to be able to talk, the freedom to be able to publish ideas, the
That's the
freedom
rarest
to
thing.
of dissent.
Yeah,
Without that,
man.
without that,
We'd be
we're
done.
screwed.
We'd be so
So,
done.
and there's an interesting cryptocurrency I've been looking into. I don't really view it as a currency. It's a utility token. Um, LBRY. Um,
Tell me
it's
about
like
it.
a it's supposed to be like a decentralized YouTube.
Mm.
You can upload information to it,
I
and I don't
have
know
heard
much
about
about it.
that. I've
I don't really know
researched.
much about it yet. It was actually something I thought like a Theta token. I thought that was going to something that was like that's like
That
decentralized
was
like
similar.
video streaming,
Yeah, that was
similar.
similar. Yeah.
LBRY is the closest thing. It's data, it's content sharing, and it's decentralized. And um, I it looks very interesting. I don't own any, but I'm very interested in the project.
You got to do your research.
Hmm.
It's a great idea, man. Because one day, like in a place like China, in a place that's like completely everything is censored, in a place where every cameras are everywhere, your facial recognition tells everybody where you are, exactly where you are, what you're doing. Hey, man, we're getting to the point these things could read our mind. It's true. Well, I know everybody here. I've thought about something, and an ad pops up. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But there's change a coming over there.
Possible, I
Already.
suppose. They
Huh?
definitely. I mean, as far as the thought patterns are concerned, perhaps that's true. I know for a fact if you're having a conversation about
Yeah.
something, you're gonna get
100%.
advertisements about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, and I mean, people can say whatever they want. I have thought things, man. I didn't even say aloud, and it popped up. I don't know if the AI kind of picked up mannerisms, suggestionable like comments or whatever. I don't know the process, but AI is coming, man. We need to come together as a people because we're going to see the first taste of a lot of people losing their jobs and what's going to happen. And then when AI comes too, man, that virus, that's going to be a virus that could be way more potentially deadly. And even if not, it could take away a lot of jobs for people. And we as artists, as artisans, need to create the new renaissance, the next renaissance. We need to focus on what we love to do. We need to focus on the people who we love. We need to get our time back. We need to get our power back. And we're trying to help you all with a few ways that this could happen. And that's Bitcoin, first off. Once we get our money back, time is money. Money is time. We get our time back.
The people
Very
really
important.
need the people really need control of the financial system, and it's so important. And I think the people, Bitcoin is the way you do it. Bitcoin is the best solution that I have ever
It's
seen.
the best thing that we have right now. You know?
People need to get control of the monetary system.
It's the
And
first step.
I know again, I know this sounds very gloom and doom. These topics. I'm an optimistic person. The fact of the matter is, these are transitionary. We're going through a transition, and uh, we need to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
And my money's in Bitcoin. I have want nothing to do with the old system.
Yeah.
Um,
If we evolve, everything is evolution. The new swallows the old. That's exactly what's going to happen. Cryptocurrency will swallow the old way of currency, which is super inflated debt. Why would you want to be a part of that when you see how fragile it could become?
the future is very promising.
Very promising.
We're gonna have to get through this crisis, and I think there's a lot of bad actors involved.
Yeah. And screw
Um,
them. We could do it together. We don't need fear mongers
well,
leeching off the human spirit. We don't need it.
but but we'll see, and we'll definitely, let's touch base. Let's have another
Yeah.
conversation in a couple days.
Yep. We'll be
There'll
back.
there'll be a lot of things. There'll be a lot of developments.
A
There'll be a lot
lot
of
new
stuff.
news is coming. I mean, I'm 24 years old, and I'll tell you one thing: I've seen some crazy stuff in my life, a lot of personal experiences that blow my freaking mind. But I've never seen the world in such an uproar. I've never seen it. don't take this as doomsday, doom and gloom. I'm just saying this, we're going through a change, a big, big change. And I'm going to tell you what, this has been needed for a while. So don't take it as bad news. Take it as inspiring change. Take it as a bright future. The old way will burn like a phoenix and be reborn to a new way. And it will be good for all of us. I promise you. There's hope coming. There's definitely light at the end of this tunnel, man. And like he said, we're going to keep everybody updated with all the greatest news and that's happening economically, um, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I'd love for you all to keep on tuning in because we care about you and we love you. And we as the people need to come together. We want to hear your feedback. We want you to be part of this mission to keep the public updated on real news. That's why we're here. Thanks, Mark. I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on, man. I love you,
Yeah.
brother.
Good talking to you, brother. Yeah. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. See ya.